if LinkedIn doesn't work next year and we all have to move to TikTok. You need to be able to give that CEO some type of ballpark figure about why they're spending money on what you're going to do. I would say about 30 to 50% of my clients hire me from day one, knowing that they want me to disengage between month 6 and month 12. You get 100% of the expertise of a senior level marketer at a fraction of the cost. I always try to talk in terms of some type of metric that a non-marketer cares and understands, right? So a non-marketer might be like, what is the ROI? And the average CMO, or maybe not the average CMO, but the marketing manager might say something along the lines of, well, this is around branding, or this is around nurturing, or so forth. That's probably true. Both can be true, but you should be able to come up with some type of metric. Is it going to make your sales cycle shorter in the next 12 months? So will your sales cycle go from 30 days to 20 days? Will the number of touches for the SDR move from 4 down to 2? You need to be able to at least have a guesstimate, and the attribution might not be perfect, but you better be able to give that CEO some type of ballpark figure about why they're spending money on what you're going to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that education side is important because, our clients, they're dealing with so many different things, and what we do is only one of them, right? So they can't stay up with it like we can stay up with it. And so that education side and kind of, we always feel like we need to kind of lead them along and guide them to where they need to be and help them understand why we're doing what it is that we're doing to help them.
Well, from a human point of view, it lines up with money and economics as well, right? Like I'm hired as a fractional chief marketing officer, and I would say about 30 to 50% of my clients hire me from day one, knowing that they want me to disengage between month 6 and month 12. And they want me to fire myself and replace myself with a mid-level manager who's going to do all of the execution. And that's fine. I sign up for that. That's win-win for everybody here. But if I don't do my job of educating the non-marketers in that executive team and the time that I work with them, they're going to either fire that marketer that I replace myself with, or they're going to run that person out because they're so hard-headed and they're not listening and they won't listen to the metrics and system that they're going to be back talking to me in a year and a half later. And that's not fun for either party because neither one of us had success in what we wanted to achieve.
So you said that I think 30 to 50% of your business is as a fractional CMO. Is the other half or whatever more geared towards longer term relationships with clients?
Yeah, longer term retainers, relationships, partnerships. Sometimes performance based, sometimes equity based, sometimes straight up marketing agency based. My oldest client right now is going on 5 years, and I play a strategic role there and then oversee all of their paid performance. My most recent client that I walked into for a short term we knew that it was going to be 1 year, was to fire myself and replace myself, but set up all of the systems and the funnels and keep metrics so that the non-marketing CEO knew what's going to happen in the future.
When did you identify this niche as fractional CMO? And you probably ought to define it too, because that in our world, the traditional approach is you hire an agency and they work for your CEO, CMO, CFO, whoever, or marketing director, or you do things in-house. So tell us. Yeah, that was a long question. Sorry about that. But tell us about fractional CMO and how you found it and what it means to you.
It's a nuanced position or role that's coming about. I think people misconstrue it as being a consultant. It's not a consultant because as a fractional CMO, I go to executive meetings. I am responsible for quarterly goals. I work a certain amount of hours every single week only on that company, either training, setting up systems, strategic guidance. A lot of times it's overseeing agencies. I work with a fair amount of clients who are doing $5 to $20 million in annual revenue, but they only have 1 or 2 marketers on the team, and it's never the founder. And so they're putting together a bunch of different agencies that might be great at execution and tactics, but the strategy hasn't been set up. So that me putting in 10 hours or 20 hours a week is setting up the scorecards so that the marketing agency can actually achieve the business goals that the CEO or executive team wants. So I explain it as a fractional CMO is an in-house person for a fractional part of the time. So you get 100% of the expertise of a senior level marketer at a fraction of the cost. So, most of the times it's 100% of the expertise, but for 25% of the salary, which saves room for you to actually have two people. So you have a fractional CMO on an all-day Tuesday and on Friday mornings, and then you have room for a marketing manager at $50,000 to $100,000 a year who can do amazing execution. But without the strategy, the marketing manager might not have been able to put together the strategy.
Looking back and thinking about your role, I could see it being really fun because, one of the best things I think that I have enjoyed over my career is taking on new clients, learning about their business, helping them get up and running, and then many times handing it off to somebody else, maybe in the agency or maybe in the case of a fractional CMO to an in-house person that then takes the ball and runs with it. So I really get where you're coming from. Is that kind of your takeaway on that too?
I love it. So there's kind of three things that I love about it. One is I always get to focus on bigger problems, and that's entertaining and it's exciting for me. Two is I often get to leave somebody that I've trained full-time in-house because these clients of mine don't know how to hire, fire, or train marketers. They ask me to do that. And I have a ongoing process of bringing interns into my agency. I bring in about 10 to 20 interns per year that I train up in 6 months, almost like an MBA in marketing. And I leave a percentage of those with my clients in-house, and I keep a relationship going on. I get to see them grow. And the third thing is I get to put 1 and 2 together. So I solve a problem, leave someone in-house who I know is going to be there for the long term. And the third thing is I get to make a lot of money for those clients, not for me nor for the person I leave. Both of those are true. It's a win-win for us, but I get to watch my client make money off of what we set up, and it's really, really rewarding.
Yeah, that's very gratifying. I agree with that. Tell me about the rest of your team at the agency.
Yeah, so there's 15 people on the team, 13 of whom were interns with me. Most of them have been with us for longer than 3 years. Some of them have come from private equity turnaround projects that I've done, where we've exited a project, a distressed asset, and sold it off. Some of them have worked on a client with me intensively for 9 months to 12 months, and then we come back and we wait for the next client, almost like marketing operators. Right now, we have 2 full-time video editors, one of them overseeing more corporate and PPC, one of them overseeing more social media, so YouTube and LinkedIn, and moving into TikTok. We have a bag of generalists that are really great at certain areas, whether it might be copy or strategy or SDR or funnel setup or email marketing.
A generalist can solve a lot of problems that a company has.
Yeah, the generalist is going to survive the AI changes. The generalist is going to survive this disrupting nature that has happened with Google updates and SEO being destroyed in the last year. A generalist is going to survive if LinkedIn doesn't work next year and we all have to move to TikTok. The specialist is going to struggle in all of those areas,